The spring election is just weeks away, and one big item on the ballot is Dane County Executive. Joining us this morning is candidate Joe Parisi. Thanks for joining us this morning. What do you think will be the biggest issue for Dane County of the next several years, and how do you plan to deal with it?
Well, there are a couple of issues. There's the issue that we have to deal with immediately, and that's the budget and how our budget is being affected by actions being taken at the state. On the budget level, we're going to have to innovate. We're going to have to continue to look at ways to look at mergers, ways to find efficiencies, and ways to generate new revenues. For example, we're now generating $3 million in revenue for the county from our methane gas extractor at the landfill. We need to look at programs like that to help keep bringing in new sources of revenue. At the same time, we have to look at process. You know, we've all had a view of what I think is the way not to run government. That's how things have been going on the state level recently. Governor Walker's kind of his way or the highway approach is not the way we do things here in Dane County. In Dane County, we're going to be much more inclusive. We're going to work with people and solve our problems working together.
Now, you touched on budget. Should Governor Walker's budget repair bill go into effect, there has been a lot of talk about changes to health care. Mm-hmm. How would you deal with something like that?
Mm-hmm. Well, fortunately in Dane County, we have contracts negotiated a few years out, so we wouldn't have to deal with that right away. But what we'll be doing is there'll be less money coming in, and so we'll work with our workers, with our unions, and with the people who we provide county services to come up with solutions together, to come up with savings working together.
Now, with the budget cuts we're facing, there are a lot of programs and ideas that have been put to the back burner. Mm-hmm. What are the odds of, for example, transit trains mm-hmm. coming to the area? Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the RTA in general, the Regional Transit Authority, is a good idea. Now, there are two proposals currently in the legislature. There's one proposal to eliminate the RTA, and in the governor's budget there's a proposal to keep it but to require a binding referendum. If it does stay, I think we should move forward with it. Initially it'll be a regional bus system. We'll look at roads, paratransit, and a regional bus. Commuter rail, sometime in the future, I think would be a good idea. Right now there's no money for it because it would have to be a big federal component, but regional buses, absolutely.
What would you say are your big differences between you and your opponent, Eileen Bruskowitz?
Well, some of it stylistically, some of it is based on issues. For example, we talked again about what's going on at the state level. Governor Walker has proposed eliminating collective bargaining for public employees. My opponent supports eliminating collective bargaining for public employees. I think that's the wrong approach. I think we need to work with our public employees. Our public employees in Dane County, for example, have shown that when times are tough, they've given back raises. They've made salary concessions, a 3% concession, a 5% concession, 3 wage freezes, and most recently they agreed to contribute an extra $1 million toward their health care contributions. So I think you can work with your employees without taking their rights away.
The current county executive, Kathleen Falk, has really implemented a lot of programs. She's done a lot in her time in that office. Should you get elected into this office, what kind of changes could you possibly implement to what she has already done?
I think the county executive has created a great foundation to continue to move forward and innovate. She's done a lot of good work, the methane gas extraction that I mentioned. And we're going to move forward. What's going to be announced within the next couple of days is now we're going to be taking compressed natural gas from the landfill and using it to power county vehicles. It's going to cost us about 50 cents a gallon. So innovations like that moving forward, clean energy, energy efficiency are ways that we can really save with the county. And in addition, I'm going to create an Office of Economic Development. That's an area the county has been working on some, but because of obviously the recent economic conditions, it's an area we need to move forward with and focus on more in Dane County.
Okay. Thank you very much and good luck.
Thanks for having me.